Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, thank you for all the support. I really do appreciate it. So coming back today with the kit that is free with magazine issue 79 of the Crafting with Hunkydory magazine. So I'll show you quickly the whole kit today. So you do get this beautiful little embossing folder, 6x4, but you can tile it really easily. And I don't know if any of you guys follow my Pinterest or my Facebook, but you'll see I posted some cards yesterday with the Santa paws, and I've used that quite a bit on some of those cards because it is one of my favourites in my craft room at the moment. So this kit seems to be perfect for people like me who make the smaller cards, because there seems to be a lot of smaller toppers, so it's really fantastic. I think there's only one set that's got big toppers on, and the rest have got a lot of little ones. So we've got Festive Fun, which is the one I'm going to be playing with today. You've got your foiled sheet with your squirrel. Oops. Where that's come from. You've got your printed sheet with your squirrel again with the tree and the presents. You've got your night before Christmas. You've got again little toppers here, one big topper, big border there, lots of sentiments. I love this pig. It just reminds me a little bit of Pippin, because Pippin when he was a baby looked a little bit like a little black piglet, so that was his nickname when he was a baby. So we've got, you know, pretty much 6 toppers there with that big one. And then you've got your lovely Mr. Bear eating his Christmas pudding. Just the detailing on that fork for the foiling is beautiful. And then you've got your little family of mice out caroling. Look at the moon, and the detail is beautiful. This is the one that's got the bigger toppers on. So you've got your 2 big toppers, I suppose 2 little ones, and then you've got your little tags, and you've got the extra border there. This is the deer family with warmest wishes. You've got Father Christmas deer and Mrs. Christmas deer. And then you've got the beautiful foiling with the hearts along the presents. And then lastly for the kit you've got heartfelt hugs and mistletoe kisses. And this is the rabbit and the mice again. Look at them fast asleep on their little chair, bless them. Again, with 2 decent sized toppers, and then lots of smaller ones if you like making your smaller cards. And then you've got this beautiful foiled one. Like the foiling just seems to pick them up from the fire. It's beautiful the way it's done. And then you've got your mistletoe with your lovely little mice, kind of hamsterish, those ones. Then you do have some papers. Let me grab all of those together. So they are double-sided. So you've got the green, and then you've got your scenes. You've got your scenes, and then the red tartan. You've got this beautiful knit, which seems to be in a lot of places this year, seems to be the thing. And then on the other side, you've got the little carrot again. Look at them, fast asleep on the chair. He's hugging his little bunny, bless him. And then you've got this beautiful like tartan that side, and more of those characters, candlesticks. And then you get some vellums with this one. So you've got this sort of poinsettia one, this sort of tree branch one. This night sky one, and then the presents. If I turn that on the right way, hopefully you can pick that up, even though I've not put anything white behind it. So I'm planning to play with that first one I showed you today, and I want that paper out as well. So let's pop that out of the way. We want those ones on the top. Okay, I'm not using the folder today. What I will say is I did have some success embossing onto the Matastic paper with the kits, but you do have to take a lot of your sandwiches out. So I at the moment I'm using my Grand Caliber, and I've got the embossing mat, and let me show you. There was a thin plate that was around at the time when I got it. What I found is if I put this in the paper in there, in this sandwich, along with one piece of card and the embossing mat from my Caliber, which is not from my Caliber, from my Gemini, which is thinner than the one from my Caliber, and that that made it, you know, really, really nice. The other thing you probably would get away with, but I would tape it in if you are going to try this, and that's by using a rolling pin. So bit of paper in, like I say, tape it at the back, so cut your paper slightly bigger than you need so that you can tape it in place. Just roll over it a couple of times with your rolling pin, and then check on it, do some more if you needed to. The reason why I think this will work with this folder is because on one of the pieces it hadn't quite embossed this the end of star and Christmas at the top there. You can't see because I've put that on there so I know which one it is, and I went over it with this and just rubbed it, and it embossed the paper quite nicely. So, you know, however you want to do that, it will work. Okay, so let's get on with the play-in today. So I'm going to do an easel card for my first card. I want to use that large circle topper up first of all. So I've got a piece of 6x12 300 GSM white card, and I'm scoring at 3 and at 6, and I'm doing a sort of half easel, so I'm not doing a plate to cover this. I want my circle topper to have some air around the top. Just making sure those are going straight with my folds, and I'll varnish them with a porcelain tool in a second just to make sure they are nice and flat. And you do get a different type of crease by scoring on the board and then coming on with this, because this really flattens that card into a nice sharp crease. So it's worth getting one if you haven't got one already. I think if you've got one of these in like a porcelain, you can get the porcelain one with a sort of more tapered point. That would probably work just as well. Okay, so just do that again because it's not quite sitting right on one side. Not quite sure why, but let me show you what you will have. So you will have something that looks a little like that. Okay, and that is going to be our starting point. So let's bring in the trimmer. I've got a 6x6 Miri mat, which I'm going to do for the base, and I'm just going to take 2 notches off 2 of the sides. So I just want that really thin white border, you know, that's what I like. If you want to put this on as it is and not cut anything off, you can do, if you want gold right to the edges. Okay, and I'm just going to check that's going to sit in there quite nicely, and it will. And for the base, I'm going to use some of that paper. I'm going to use this blue check. Now I'm just going to see which of the characters I'd rather keep. So I think I'm going to cut from this bottom half because there's more characters at the top that I would probably use. So I'm going to go at 5 3/4. Save 3. And 5 3/4. Oh, we nearly had him. We can put something else in his hand maybe. So that is going to go on to my base if I can pick it up. Like so. So I need another little Miri mat because I haven't got any pieces of gold. And I'm going to do this piece for here, which is going to be 2 notches under the 3 and 2 notches under the 6. And I'm going to bring in this piece here. I'm going to come in at 5 3/4 this way, because then I know I can use that elsewhere. Now I don't know if I want to take, I think I'm going to take just the green piece and leave that corner for another piece when I use it up, but that should fit quite nicely onto there. And the other thing I want to do is to bring this topper sheet back in, and I'm just going to place my cut line just at the edge of the logo there, and I'm going to come to the top of my topper, because what I want to do is create a stopper for the bottom, and I don't want to cut into any more of my cardstock or paper. So, but I also want my knitting going across, so I need to do it that way. So I'm going to cut this to 5 3/4, and then have a piece of, so 5 3/4. Bear with me, I've just got a little bit of paper stuck under my blade. There we go. And this is, how wide do we think that is? So that is 1/4 of an inch more or less. So let's try adding 3 notches onto that, see what that looks like. I don't want it to be too chunky. That's perfect. Okay. Just put that there for next time. Okay, so I think that is all the cutting I need to do for now. So the glues I'm going to be using, they're going to be my usual ones. So in this clear container, it will be the Clout All-Purpose Glue, which is a bit similar to the Hunkydory construction glue. And then in this one, I've got Cloud Tacky Glue, which is a sort of water-based PVA glue. Okay, so let's start on the bottom here. And I'm just going to put my all-purpose glue all over, and because I'm going on to cardstock, a little bit of tacky in the corners. Just the best of both worlds for me, we're using both the glues. Okay, and then again with this one, the all-purpose glue. Now normally if I've got a dotty tape pen, I usually put the dots in the corner, but because I've got the solid tape pen and I can't find a dotty at the moment, I'm just going to use my all-purpose, which just means I'm going to have to be a little bit careful not to knock it while it's drying, because it can take a little while to go off. Not hours, but you know, a couple of minutes. Okay, sorry, just having a quick drink because I've got a dry throat. So what I'm going to do next is just use my tacky glue on the back of this little piece of card that I've robbed from the topper sheet. And I'm going to put that across the middle just so that's got time to be drying before we need it. I can always just trim that little edge there. It is just slightly longer than my gold, but that is fine. And what I will also say is, if you need something that's going long ways for a border, you've got, you know, you've got what, nearly, what, at least ½ an inch, maybe a little more on that side there. So it's always worth just checking those topper sheets to see if there is a piece that you're wanting to steal if you're looking for a border. Or even if you just don't like waste, you know, it's worth just cutting them off and then adding them into other bits and pieces if you're using your papers from your books or whatnot. Okay. Now, depending on whether you knit or not, there is going to be a right and a wrong way. Okay, so if you knit, you'll know that these arrows will point downwards, because that's the way the stitch is when it's done. And there is a clue on that topper sheet if you forget. I don't think it's really going to make that much difference if it goes one way or the other, but it's just because I know it goes that way, I want to make sure I get it on there the right way, if you know what I mean. Okay, so now we've got our 2 pieces on, and we've got our pieces that are looking like this. And I've chosen that paper because in this frame we've got this sort of pattern, this, what do you call it, it's not a gingham, is it? It's like the word is in my head. Let me pop that out while I'm thinking. This is what happens, sorry, my brain just goes blank every now and then. Like tartan, yay, got there. Yeah, so it's this tartan is repeated in this frame, so that's why I was initially going to go for that pale knitted sheet, but it did have those little pigs in the chair on it, so I didn't really want to use it, but I did find that that will match up together, so we're going to tie those in together. Okay, now I have to decide how I want that to go. I don't think it really matters how it goes. I could have it sort of dead on, so we've got a bit at the top and a bit at the bottom, but equally so it looks all right on the wonk. So I think what we need to do is, let's decide, do I want it straight? I don't think I do. I think I want it on the wonk. Could have it half and half. I'm going to go back there because then that means that this tartan is straight. So let's pop that over. I'm pretty sure that's about where we want it to be. Yep. And I'm going to need to cut down some pads, so apologies. So let's just... And these are my 1mm ones from a Fix It. Just going to cut those in half as well. I caught up quite well yesterday with that Santa Paws kit. I was sort of finished by about 8:30. Well, I wasn't finished. I finished that page, or those 2 pages, about 8:30. But then Henry was like, kept putting his ball in the weirdest places in here, and he was getting a bit insistent, so I thought probably best to just he wasn't going to let me be, bless him. He wanted, he's very strange. He likes to sleep all day pretty much. He's obviously on guard for postmen and delivery men and things, but pretty much sleeps all day. And then sort of come about 8 o'clock is when he's sort of active for about an hour, maybe 2, depending. Well, he'll go off and sit down, but then when you sort of sit back to sort of relax, gone a little high with those, I think. Let's look. When you sit back to relax, so it's just up there. He'll come back in again and tell you he wants to play. So let's try. That one's all. I don't know why I took it off there. Really, I should have just watched it. Okay. And if you do struggle to get them off, while they just put them on, it's quite easy to get it off if you pop a little bit of your alcohol glue on. Okay, so that is good to go on now. So let's get those backs off. So yeah, after that I couldn't get any more done. So I packed everything up, did my photos, and then sort of sat in the front room throwing his ball for him and popping them onto Pinterest and then on Facebook into the album. But I'm hoping to get some more of those done today. Won't get any done tomorrow, that's for sure. but we will see. It's going to be hidden by the topper anyway. So I think for this one, a little squirrel, let's come out quite high. Let's go for our 2mm. And yeah, so, and then once that's done, because there's, I don't know how long it'll take me to work through the extras on this kit though, that's the thing, because I want to try and keep on top of these as well. But with there being the extra small toppers, then I've got opportunity to make smaller cards, which is nice. There we go, so that's on there. So that's where we're at the moment. So he's on the top. Okay, looking rather fancy. And then we have our border. Now I did say I was going to trim that a little bit, didn't I? So just trimming up to that gold. It's a little on the wonk, but you can always put something on there. I think I'm probably going to go 2mm on this one, just because it's got to support the weight of that top piece. And this is sort of a half easel. If you wanted to do a full easel, what you would do is cut another piece of 6x6 and then pop it onto, you glue this half onto there. And then you decorate it as if it was a normal card. I have done full easels before, so it might be worth just checking back over ones that I've done before if you wanted to look at making one of those. I do like these half easels though, you know, especially if you've got a topper like this, where it's quite nice to have a bit of air in between. I think the only thing is they don't always look as inviting when they're in a packet, you know, like normally what I do is put them with an envelope and then in a clear plastic cello bag. So that's how we're keeping that up. Now we just want a sentiment. Now that could be a birthday card, you know, sort of Christmas time birthday card, because although you've got a tree there, really it's just a squirrel with a drink of tea and some presents, isn't it? So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to make it particularly Christmassy. I'm going to bring in this topper which just says for someone special, which kind of leaves my options open for using this. Just trim that a little bit off. And that on there. And then we just have to think about some little bits of gems maybe. So let's pop you down. I'm going to pop you there. Got for someone special. So I think maybe some shimmer gems would be nice. I did find these upstairs, these sort of black ones. But I think I have got some, well, we've got those ones. I'm sure there is some darker ones as well. I can bring the greens out just in case. Ah, there we are. I've got these ones. These ones I really, really like. These are Midnight Shimmer. Okay, so let's go for a nice little bit of sparkle. So I think I go 1, 2 there, and then 1. It's not going to stick if we don't take the glue with it. 1, 2 there. So we're just varying that size up a little bit, and then I'm going to put 1, so that's going to make our 7. Nice odd number. And that is going to be the finished card. So I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. For my second card, I'm going to be doing a 5 by 7 card, yeah. And I thought I might do a bit of experimenting with putting maybe 2 toppers on, so 2 smaller toppers, but sort of cutting into them a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer. We'll have to just pop that leg out. And I've got a sheet of A4 gold navy card. And I'm going to start with my normal sort of mat of 2 notches under the 5 and 2 notches under the 7. And then I'm going to come to the printed cardstock with the beautiful squirrel. We're not using her, but I'm going to take this to 4 3/4. Which do I want to keep? We'll keep the planks, and 6 3/4. Okay, so that should fit quite nicely onto there, and it does. And that is all we need for that at the moment. The thing that I do need, which is not in its usual place, so we might have to use one of the others, is my little corner rounder. Where my favourite one's gone. Right, okay. So I'm just going to round these corners off just for a slightly different look. This trimmer, this punch is, I believe it is a cross cut one, or X cut, whichever you want to call it. And put those out, and put that one back in the drawer, and then I know that's there. Get rid of those. Okay. And then what I am going to do is just pop this piece onto its mirror mat. I'm and ahhing whether to do round the edges of the card blank on 2 sides. Let's have a little look. No, I'm going to leave it square. Okay. Well, it's determined not to go where it's supposed to. Right. Okay, sorry about the creaky chair. So let's have a look at these toppers. So I think wishing you a joyful Christmas filled with endless fun. And let's go for these 2 naughty raccoons. So we've got one on a pony and one getting to the bottom of his stocking. We've got some of the little ones there we can use if I want to. But my kind of idea was, I may put some ribbon on as well, was to come off these sides. We kind of need to have something going on so that it sort of makes sense, if you know what I mean. There you go, that way. That way and that way. Yes, I like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do as well, just thinking how I can make that make sense. If I bring in some little peel-offs, I'm going to use these shiny detail ones. And what I'm going to do is turn these into little balls. So let me move you out of the way first of all. And just going to follow the check pattern a little bit. Hopefully that should keep me sort of straight-ish. So that's there. We're going over the side with that one. So the good thing about these peel-offs is that you can really move them around. As long as you don't press them down too hard. Okay, so that's that one, and then we just need one more. Let's go for this piece here. And I said we'll go a little higher with him. We'll go right there. Now these are shiny detail. They're hobby journal. Find it trading. I've got quite a few of these. There are some, I think, on eBay. I think I used to have a shop, and I think there are still some of mine on there as well. But they are handy to have, especially those little circles, because they can just add a little bit of something to a project without too much drama. And I say, you know, they might be on eBay. I used to have a shop a long time ago, and what I decided to do was not have a shop anymore, but there are still some bits and pieces on there that I decided I would just let sell through. But having a shop really is not for me, because you don't get too much time to craft. I missed it, you know. I thought having a shop would mean I would do more crafting, but I wasn't. I was doing less because I was having to do all the boring stuff. Okay, so I'm just coming over the side on that one. I think I will come up to 2 millimeters on this one. We've got half ones there, so let's just make sure we've got plenty of support on that one. What you could do, if you've got any glossy accents or anything, you could always go over these with that and give that a little bit of a shine. I personally don't like, I've tried it with glossy accents on one of these before, and I didn't like the way it looked, but that's just me. There we go, and then this one will come over, but we will also be at that 1 millimeter. And what I'll do in a minute is just any bits that are overhanging, I will trim off. And we'll add some ribbon to them as well. I don't know what colour yet though, maybe some light blue. I've got some beautiful light blue ribbon. Or we could go with the green, but I think all the greens are quite a dark green, and this is a sort of in-between green. So we might go for the blue to match the paper behind. So let's go. Let's go about there, I think. And then I can turn that over. Cut those off. And I'm going to come in and add this to my card. I did print the inserts off for this. I think I did do some printing the other day, and I think they're still on the actual printer. So I need to go and grab those. That's where we're looking at the moment. So I think this is quite a lovely little match. So I'm going to tie 3 little bows. Or we could mix it up and have a little bit of that lovely navy as well. Oh yes. So I'm going to have one in this light blue. Sorry, I know the rattling always sounds louder on camera, rattling plastic. So cut a bit more than I really needed on here, so it's been a little bit wasteful, so apologies. Smack myself on the hand later. So let's do a little dark blue. I really love this navy ribbon. I don't know if navy is a colour this year, but it's just been one of mine. Not that navy's not good all year round, but I just think this year navy's been quite nice. There. And if you've got a die cut that has that little piece, you know, there's usually like a little cap on the top of an ornament or a bauble, as we call them here. You can always die cut that and add that on. I know Hunkydory did have die set with ornaments in, so I'm not sure if they had the cap or not. But there definitely would be a spellbinder one if not. Okay, so let's come in with these tails. And then what I'm going to do, because I'm going to have to clamp this shut, let's do some gems before I do those bows. And what I might do is just have a little pickup tool. I don't know why I bother having a pickup tool if I'm not going to use it. And maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. 7 is the rule today. We'll go like that. So let's pop those on. Just, you can put these anywhere you like. You could also come in and glitter this if you wanted to add something to it. You could also add some of those characters in if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm going to pop a nice amount of glue there. Pick my card up, pop my glue, my bow on in that glue, and then I'm going to come in with my little reverse tweezers. I really need to get some more of these because I do use them such a lot now. And then again pop this one onto here. And my little tweezers. Come across and pop them down. Now I'm hoping I can get my tweezers under there. Yeah, I'm going to be able to. There we go. So again, just going to pop this onto there. I clamp it in the glue. I can see that one of those legs is well longer than the other. There we go. But that is going to be my second card, nice and quick. All it needs now is an insert. So you could add more circles on if you wanted to. Instead of adding these little decorative gems, you could always come in with like a little cup, little snow globe, and then just go back to those characters if I may while that's just drying. That will take about 10 minutes to set, that's all. I think I've lost them, buried them. Oh, here it is. So obviously there's some that I've cut away, but you know, you could always have a little squirrel in there, a little bear or something, you know, you've got loads of options to add to it. But those are my 2 cards for today. So let me bring that easel card back in. So we've got our little squirrel there having his cup of tea or hot chocolate, I'm guessing that is. And then you've got the kids on the other one, so one for everyone there. And the sentiment here is a lovely little sentiment. It says, wishing you a joyful Christmas filled with endless fun, which I think is going to be cute for you know, a family of people. But equally so, these could be birthday, you know, especially this one. Although you've got the holly in the background, it's so pale, it could just be any other plant. So you could definitely use that one as a birthday. Again, this one's got the little tree, but you don't have to make so much of that. In fact, if you put it on the other side, you could cut some of that off if you needed to. But that's it from me today. I'm not going to be back on Wednesday. The next time I come back with this kit is going to be Friday. Just got some bits and pieces that I need to do. And we'll stay with this kit. We'll work it through all those 4 sheets. And then behind the scenes I'll work through anything else that's left and put them on my Facebook and Pinterest pages. I know there are a lot of new things coming up with it being birthday week this week, so there is a beautiful well, I've seen samples for poppy set, which looks gorgeous. I know there are some new books coming, but you know, craft pads, there's some whopper topper pads as well coming, so lots of nice things coming. So hopefully by the time, I know they get super busy around about birthday week and everything, but by the time I finish this, hopefully we'll be able to just go into something that's not Christmas for a while. So next couple of months, hopefully, touch wood, are going to be filled with non-Christmas, even if it means I have to go back to something older just to have a break from it. And then in December we'll start again with the kits, because hopefully Hunkydory will do the goodie boxes again. But like I say, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye.